What's going on, guys? It's UrAvgConsumer, and today, check it out, you guys. We've got the brand new PlayStation VR2. Not only that, we also have the Sense charging station. But today we're gonna do a quick unboxing of both of these guys, so you get your first look at what the new system is going to look like. So huge shout out to Sony for sending this out to us a little bit early so we could check them out. Now, you know, they've got embargoes and all kinds of stuff, so we won't be able to talk about everything. So we'll, at least for the first video, take a look at all of the hardware and everything that you can expect if you pick one of these up, and pretty much everything else you'll need to know about what the hardware entails. And it feels like not too long ago that Sony announced that they were coming out with the PlayStation VR2, and this is a completely redesigned version of their VR headset that we saw come out in what, 2016? So this one looks really interesting, looks really high end, and I love the fact that it follows the same theme as like the PS5, which I'm a huge fan of, that black and white look, or that white and black look. I think it looks really dope. And if you've been living under a rock and you have no idea what a VR headset is, or if Sony ever made one before, basically what you're getting here is a headset that you're gonna be able to connect to your PS5 and play virtual reality games using the headset. Lots of updated controls, new features. So let's go ahead and start with the unboxing. All right, so we'll start off, of course, with the VR2.
Let's start with the base.
Nobody can click off the video real fast, man. Do we have an unboxing knife?
Where's the kunai?
Oh, good question, Jay. Let's get our Naruto on. Always ready, man. Just imagine I threw it perfectly and it just like sliced right through the tape.
That's the video.
Yeah, that's it. A million views right there. All right, let's pop this thing open. Oh, but real quick, back of the box, you know, nothing too special. Shows you the headset, controllers, some special features. Most importantly, we'll see what's inside. All right, got a box up top, headset over here. Let's take a look at this box, see what we got. USB-C to a USB-A cable. Oh, it also comes with what looks like a headset and earbuds and some silicone tips. Now, this is so that you can take advantage of the Tempest 3D audio, which is like Sony's spatial audio. Should work with games, make it feel a bit more immersive. So I guess they'll hook up into the headset like this. You'll throw it around like that, pop them into your ears. And some paperwork. Might want to hold on to that. Now, let's take a look at the headset itself. So we got it here. And we have our controllers. So we'll start off with the headset. Now we've got our cable here. Now this is what you're gonna be plugging into your PS5 to get this thing operational. And it's a long cable, so you're still gonna have to be physically tethered to your PS5. Okay, this is more than enough length so that you don't have to be too close to your PS5 and you have enough room to move around.
What port is it using?
This is USB Type-C. Yeah, so you just plug this into the front of your PS5 and you're good to go. All right, so this is the headset, and I gotta say, this looks a lot better than the first one. This looks clean. I love that it follows that PS5 theme. So we've got our 4 cameras up front. We have our adjustable headband over here. You know, for us folks with big domes over here, you can get as much room as you need. So you can move the band over here, and with this dial, I think you can do some adjustments as well. There's also another button up here on the right side, so you can move the actual headset forward or back, depending on your face. And over here, you've also got your light guard, so completely blocks out everything around you. You can just focus on what's going on with the screen here, or the screens. What you call it? It's a screen, right? Even though it has like the 2 lenses. Oh, your scopes. Yeah, these are your scopes. Okay. So listen, we've been referring to this manual for the proper terminology here. These are actually your scopes. So you can use this little dial right here to adjust those. So if your eyes are a little bit wider, you can separate them a little bit closer. All this stuff is of course adjustable for all the different face shapes. Now, in terms of other hardware, we have our power button over here. This looks like we are looking at a microphone. Yep. And over here, we've got, what is this button? Press the button to switch to see-through view. So yeah, you can see what's going on in front of you if you ever need to. Let's say you're in the middle of some intense VR game and somebody's calling you, you just press that, see what's going on, you can talk to them, you don't have to pull off the whole headset. And back here is the spot so that you can throw on your earbuds. So you can just clip it in here, and then you got your 3.5mm jack over here. Clip that, pop that in. So you can use your earbuds just like this. Now, I believe you're also going to be able to use like your Pulse wireless headset if you want. These, of course, take advantage of Sony's Tempest 3D audio as well. So if you don't want to use the earbuds, maybe you want to share with friends while you're playing, you can always use the headset to do that. yeah, that's a lot of equipment on. Now you've also got some vents up front, so you know it doesn't get too hot up in here. So I think that's about it. There's also a sensor right between the scopes, so it'll know when you're actually wearing it and when you aren't. Okay, and that concludes our quick tour of the actual headset. Now we also have our controllers. Yeah, so these are the PSVR2 Sense controllers. So the controllers for the PlayStation are called the DualSense. These are just VR2 Sense. Now, of course, these have some features that we saw with the DualSense controller. You'll be able to access some of those here. So quick tour around these. You have a similar layout to what you see with the DualSense controller. You have your analog sticks on both sides, your face buttons over here. You have a PlayStation button on each side, as well as your share and options button. Not to mention, you've got your adaptive triggers. Now, these adaptive triggers are nice here because they're similar to the DualSense controllers, where you can have like different resistance depending on what you're doing in the game. I believe they showed in the new Horizon game, you'll be able to pull out a bow, and as you're drawing the string and ready to let go, you can feel the resistance of the string when you're shooting your arrow. So that's gonna be really interesting to experience. I can't wait to try that out. And you also have some buttons over here. And I believe it's touch sensitive where you rest your fingers. So if you were to raise your fingers, you'll see it reflect that in game. So if you wanted to like this, you'll see like a peace sign or something. Really? Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Does it have a camera?
Well, if your fingers aren't on the sensor, it knows the fingers are up.
Oh.
So down would mean you have a closed fist. You raise one, it's like this finger's up, obviously, okay. So that's kind of how it works. Not to mention, of course, you got your wrist straps over here. Oh, they got like a cool little PlayStation logo. But all right, now that we've got an idea of like the hardware side of things, let's talk about the specs and what kind of power this thing actually has. Oh, wait, one more thing on hardware. We got the Sense, the VR2 Sense controller charging station. So clearly, this is going to be an optional accessory. Oh, okay, so okay, the USB-C port is right here. So these come with little adapters, it looks like, based on this little box. I'm guessing this is where the paperwork and stuff is. Oh, paperwork, as well as those adapters that we just talked about. You throw this into the USB-C port. This will come with charging cable, as well as your power adapter here. This kind of reminds me of like the Vita charging cable. Can you see it, Jay? Do you remember the Vita?
I don't use Vita.
You never used the Vita, man?
I played a couple times.
See, this is why they discontinued it, man. People like you. The actual charging station. So you just take this, plug it into the back. You got rubberized feet at the bottom of this, so when you're placing your controllers down, this shouldn't budge. And you just line these up with the connectors over here. Just drop it down here, clicks into place, and boom. But all right, now we're done with the hardware. Let's talk about specs. Now, of course, these have 4 tracking cameras. Now, these are gonna be used to track your movements with the controllers. So as you do all of your different gestures and stuff, these right here will be what tracks those movements. Now, when you turn this thing around, when we're talking about what's inside, these scopes allow you to see a 4K OLED display. Each scope is going to give you a 2K resolution, which is a significant upgrade compared to the previous generation, while also offering you a 110-degree field of view, which is, I believe, 10 degrees better than the previous, which should also be a nice improvement. Now you also get that running at 120 frames per second, so you're gonna get a nice buttery smooth experience is what we wanna see. So to pull this off, Sony's using a technique called foveated rendering, which uses eye tracking technology that's inside of here. So based on where your pupils are actually looking, it is going to output that in the maximum resolution, while the things you aren't really looking at in your peripheral will be in a lower quality. That way the headset isn't using maximum resolution at all times, wasting resources on things you aren't looking at. And I think that's going to be pretty interesting to try out. I'm really curious to see how well that's going to work. Anything with eye tracking technology kind of piques my interest because it's like, how well can you track these things? Now, in terms of pricing, this bad boy is going to be going for $550, $549.99, which is more than the PS5. So it's an interesting price point. But I mean, you can do so much more than you can with like a normal PS5, right? So maybe
Something was expensive headset.
that's true. VR headsets can be really pricey. And this one has Sony backing it, so you're gonna get those first party games like Horizon. There's actually a few pretty good titles coming out for this. Obviously, Horizon Call of the Mountain is going to be the one that kind of showcases everything that this headset is going to be capable of in terms of using the adaptive triggers, the motion. That game is obviously the flagship game for this headset. I feel like the Horizon series is a really good game for that role, since there's just so much activity, so much moving around. Like we talked about earlier, there's like bows that you're gonna be able to use. You'll like literally have to get an arrow out of your quiver, throw it into your bow, pull, all kinds of cool stuff that you're gonna be able to do. I'm very excited to try that out. But there's also gonna be other games like Resident Evil Village. I believe Gran Turismo is also coming out. There's a Star Wars game, No Man's Sky. There's a few coming out, but Horizon Call of the Mountain is probably gonna be the one where you get all of the features. Now, we're not allowed to show you guys anything just yet, but we could power it on, right? Like plug it in, turn on our PS5. If this video gets taken down, you know why. Somebody's like, you went too far, Judd. You wanna throw it in for me?
Yeah. You want to throw it up?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, all right, so we have a little LED over here. Let's power it on. Ooh, vibration, there's haptics, right. That's another thing. This also has haptics in the headset as well as the controller. So you can feel, like I said, you can feel the resistance in certain things when you're using the adaptive triggers. But if somebody comes and they start wailing on you in a game, I think you might feel that in the headset too. So that's going to be interesting. You know, screw it, Jay. Let's just put this on, start the review.